We have an intruder. How did they get in? In through the window. And there is your Doctor Who quote of the day. Hello and welcome to journaling, where we do things, build things, whatever is fun. Just a few notes in the beginning. I know it's been a while. I have been traveling a lot. I've been dealing with a couple of other things a lot, and one of the other reasons I was less motivated is because obviously I was building something that and doing something that people generally have seen to death. And while that was cool to figure out the streaming itself, I was kind of hoping for a more specialty item to come in, which it finally has. So starting with this stream and following that series, we are going to build an Annex Engineering Gasherburm. I hope that's the way to spell that. Using a Fabreeko kit. The Fabreeko kit's finally shipped. It finally made it here, so I am very happy and lucky to get one and to be able to build it. I think I'm going to enjoy that quite a lot, but it is a challenge. If you want to follow that, starting now again, and I realize it's not Saturday, but starting now, Saturdays, 7 p.m. Central European time, which means that that's 6 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. West Coast, no, wait, 6, 12 a.m. West Coast, 8 a.m. East, I think. No, actually, 1 p.m. West Coast and 9 a.m. East Coast. Should be correct. You can figure it out. Just type that into Google, ask Google what 7 p.m. CEST is for you, and join us during the next couple of weeks of building one of the more challenging, I would say, printers, but also one of the printers that can be insanely fun, insanely fast, and that have a really, really freaking amazing build volume and a couple of other features I really like. So yeah, also, if you want to connect, there is a link to the Discord in the description below, as well as obviously a couple of other links that you may or may not know, and a list of tools and stuff we're going to use. So if you're so inclined, feel free to check it out. Maybe there's something you wanted anyways, and you may even be able to find an affiliate link down there as well. Always appreciate it, always helps the channel, so feel free to not use them, no pressure whatsoever. Also, since this is a more or less requirement now for at least good conduct, this stream is not sponsored by anybody. You will hear the name Fabreeko, you may hear Fisec, you may hear Polymaker quite a lot. Everything in this stream is completely paid for by me. So any opinion you hear, and that would be the case even if it wasn't completely paid by me, is going to be my own, only my own, and it's going to be amazing. Also, a quick note in case you were expecting the second part of the canvas conversion of the Fisec kit we built earlier. That is still forthcoming. I just didn't get around to it yet, and I'm still waiting for those frickin' Sunan 5-volt 3010s to be able to complete the toolhead, because for some reason that I can't quite fathom, the only toolhead boards that actually support 2 voltages are the SB2240s from Big Tree Tech that are specific for the stealth burner. Kind of sucks. We will need to figure out something for this printer as well, but in the meantime, let's get going. And we're going to start with, obviously, a look into the box. I'll have to lower my table slightly. And then, let me just grab this and let's hope the table doesn't break. I guess there's a bit of a height issue. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. At the moment, this is sitting quite flush here. So yeah, seems to be barely small enough to still fit this table. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Also, if you're in chat, if you're in any way present, please feel free to drop me a note. Please feel free to say something, say hello in chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's just if you're not in chat, feel free to subscribe so you get notified when I go online in the future. I'd definitely like to see you here, but first, let's look at the box. Let's look at this whole thing. First of all, this is not the box it came with. It came in. It is the inner box, so there was another box around it. I removed that due to, obviously, it having details about me on there that I realize there's some more of on the back side here. So let me quickly get rid of those. Yeah, but the box it came with, the whole packaging was absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't have expected any less from Fabreeko, but they did as expected, and that is always a good thing. Always. So, cheers Fabreeko. You did well. Even if this was kind of late to the party, I do still appreciate it arriving at all, which is not always a given for the country I am in. There was a bit of an issue with the delivery person not wanting to transport this into the onto the upper floor, but without me actually showing that I am able to pay import tax. So that was kind of funny. But they did it, they made it, and they didn't take it away with them again. So kind of glad that worked out. All right, let me quickly remove that bottle as well. Otherwise we're going to throw that to the ground. And yeah. So this is the inner box. I did quickly check whether there's any more documentation in here, but otherwise this is more or less untouched. And we have this first layer as always. Pretty good packaging, I'd say. Looks pretty decent. Move that a bit closer there. And there we go. So what do we have here? We have ooh. Oh, we're already starting with a little highlight. That is nice. That is nice. Heater pad with a really nice tube around the cabling. The cabling itself. In some cases pre-crimped, in some cases not. I guess this is done to give us the option of connector, because not all the boards use the same connector. So if you order this already apparent, you will need crimping tools, crimping pliers, although that should not come as a surprise for you. I guess if you've only ever built LDO tool kits, that might be a surprise, but yeah, also otherwise, like, even if you've modified your printer, shouldn't come as a surprise. The heater pad is 110-220 at 300 watts. To be honest, I personally like DC heater pads, and there may be an option for us to replace this with a DC option, but I think we're gonna use it for now. Main reason why I personally like DC pads is because they give you options to run on a brick power supply, but since this is an 18 or 180 by 180 build volume, I guess you can't quite get away with that anymore, just as well as with the Warren 0.2. So 110-220 should be fine. Next piece. Ooh. Ooh. Build surface. The build plate. Let's open this up. Let's actually put some grease fingers on there, so we immediately ruin the surface. That looks quite interesting. I guess it's satin on both sides. Probably gives you really good results. I'm definitely looking forward to printing on this. I may even throw this in another printer before we finish this build, just to see how that how the result is, and if it's good, we may actually print on this. By the way, as for the plans on what we're going to use for the printed parts, that, as you may have guessed from the intro earlier, is going to be Polymaker, and specifically Polymaker ABS Galaxy Teal and Galaxy Purple. So not quite as flashy as the teal and yellow or the pop pink and pop blue that we have used and in use for other printers, or even the orange with the blue extrusions, right? All of those are a bit more flashy, I guess, but I'm still looking forward to the color scheme because I think it's going to be great. In the meantime, the plate. No, the bed. That's the word. Damn it! Need to remember my vocabulary. Really finely polished here. Everything stamped with and marked with the Fabreeko Honey Badger logos. So yeah, and this looks amazing. You can see some machining on the top. So they actually made sure that this really came out flat. We'll need to make sure we get the magnet on there as flat as possible as well, I guess. Separate temperature sensor, so pretty good as well. And the magnet. Bit of a weird thing. I guess we will have to, well, actually, this is kind of weird. So we have, let me check this on the aluminum plate. But this is kind of a weird one. We have one rounded corner right here, and then 3 just sharp corners. So I don't know. Bit weird. We'll figure it out. We'll see if that has any meaning, but it is definitely interesting to see. So since the corners on the bed are all more or less sharp, it's going to be interesting to see how that looks in the end. But yeah, we'll see. Let me close the window real quick because it started raining. Yeah. Next up, what do we have here? Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. These I assume from knowing my V2 geometry are probably for the Z. I think this one has a belted Z, and with the belted Z it has to have like 3 of these to build the controls, to build the belting. So yeah, all right. To be honest, don't care much. I do like the lead screw Z on the Trident. I also, in general, like the way the salad fork works. Although we need to build one on the stream here. We still have the kit, and I think we need to build that kit. We should have just started that, but I was, like I said, I was also traveling. I'm actually looking for a bit of a flat, bit of a venue change with a larger studio, with a larger workshop. So yeah, that's definitely something that is coming up, but things are not going as smooth on that as I'd wanted to. And sorry, I completely forgot to turn the music back on. There we go. Let me see if I actually did that correctly. And let me see here. I'm sorry for this. It's been a while. And I actually started the wrong thing. So I hope these are actually... Yeah, they should be royalty free. Okay, some studs. Bunch more. I'm guessing these are for the larger belt gears. Some more. Lots of tooth pulleys and pulleys, some shims, more pulleys, and ooh, that is quite a bit of belt. And that is actually, that looks like, is that 10mm belt? It's 9mm belt. Wow. So up from the 6? Didn't know that. Amazing. So I guess we're going to build with 10mm belt. And sorry, but Annex is just doing whatever, so I kind of had to send him. Let me send him to his place property. Let's see if I can actually show you. There you go. There he is. Annex, decke, decke, decke. There we go. Light. There we go. The poor puppy is not allowed to... Oh, wait. I didn't actually show you. Didn't switch properly. So let's see if we can learn how to do streaming things again. So yeah, there you go. Puppy on there. And a box from a bit further up. We may use the mobile cam some more later. Let's go here again. Anyways, 9mm belt. Going to be amazing to see. But let's put that away again. And everything is Honey Badger branded or from Fabreeko, so cool. I guess we can put these back in here as well. What's that? Oh, oh. These are closed loop belts. Going to be interesting to see where they belong, because they're supposed to be 200 millimeters, if I see this correctly. So I would have assumed that they're there to sync the motors, and but not sure if 200 millimeters is going to be enough, because that means that they're in total 100 millimeters long. Might be interesting. Could be interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Definitely something to look out for. And we have some really nicely done extrusions. I'm going to open one of these up, at least to some extent, because I want to look at the extrusions directly. One interesting thing about these, and I actually should just use a knife, but I don't know where mine is at the moment. One interesting thing about this is I actually bought a tool to do the whole alignment. I'm not sure if you saw these on the desk previously. I bought these from Fisec. Right, they're meant to be used to do three-way joints. So, whoa, don't scratch anything. So you basically unscrew them, put in all three of your connections in the way they are supposed to fit. Then you can fix them in place, and there are actually holes here and here to then like screw everything together in a very squared manner. So I'm kind of looking forward to this part and like just trying that out. But I think, if I remember correctly, I saw parts of the construction actually have holes somewhere where we can't even use these, so that might be a bit of a bummer. This one's 20 millimeter extrusion. This is meant for 15. So this one we can definitely use on the salad fork, but this kind of we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's definitely interesting. But first, we also have linear rails. And that feels kind of crunchy. So these have a lot of grease on them. We'll likely need to degrease and re-grease them. I would have kind of expected this to go somewhat the way of the LDO kits, where you don't need to do this anymore. But yeah, there's a lot of grease on this. There is a lot of grease on this. I may actually ask the Fabreeko people if this is meant to be that way, but I kind of doubt it, just seeing the amount of grease that is on here. So probably better to just decrease and recrease them. Oh wait, let's have a closer look at these though. Let's see branding and stuff. And of course, this box is too large to get this in focus. So pretty good, I would say, carriage, and it has a grease port on either side, so we can actually re-grease these without taking them off the rail, which probably the way to go. Probably the way to go for some IPA through that, and then just re-grease them. Shouldn't be a big deal. They feel really good. I'm not sure if they're stainless. We'll have to check that out on the Fabreeko product page, but they do look good. I am not going to open the others though, because my fingers are already greasy and I would want to possibly keep the grease inside there. Which, looking at this, it's another long one. What's that? I guess 300 mil. Let's measure it just to see what's in there. Yeah, 300 mil to 300 mils. The extrusions here. For 380 mil. One 280 mil. Two 300 mil. Two 250s. And then the shortest one here is 180. Well, that's to be expected. I'm a bit surprised that there are not more extrusions in here, but I kind of figure that they may have split those. We may find some more on the bottom. So not worried about it just yet. The other rails, let's have a quick look at those real quick. For 250 mil and are they all? 6250 mil, yeah. So that means that must be the XY, because we need 3 extrusions per. Oh wait, there's another one. Interesting. So it's overall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I would have figured 6, but there's also the matter of the Z-axis, and these two longer ones, the 300 mil ones, may actually be part of the Z-axis, so they might have used 2 300 ones, linear rails, and 3 and 1 250 for the Z-axis. Okay, let's get rid of this. Let's check out what's under here. Let's not put it on something that can bend or break. There we go. Ooh. And there's more stuff on here. What a surprise. I mean, the others The other stuff didn't actually make a complete printer, so I'm guessing that was to be expected. Yeah, anyways, let me quickly check on the stream here. See if any of you have already joined. Otherwise, and I'm guessing you didn't, because there's nothing in the chat, damn you. I'm kidding, of course. Actually, let's remove the chat windows then, since this seems to be going more of the video route than the actual you guys being here route. Oh, that actually might be somewhat hard to do. Where's the studio mode? There we go. Gone. And yeah, continuing on. So here, there's quite a bit of electronics. And one thing I can already say is we are going to have to recrimp some cables. Whoa, that may not have been the best idea. I like how they packaged it in such a wide loop. That looks pretty good, to be honest. But yeah, I like these pins. They're good. Crimp in general, all the connectors seem to be a really good quality. At least from the first look. But I do not like fork connectors. I would rather there be rings on these, just for my peace of mind. I do like ring connectors better, or ring terminals. So, but that's just me. There are pros and cons to ring terminals. There's a lot of discussion around them, especially if, let's say, a ring terminal comes loose. Then a fork terminal could just be like blown off with the first disconnect, and then you don't have a connection anymore. Period. There are a couple of definite advantages. And by the way, they did actually use ring terminals in some cases. That is interesting, especially since like this has a pin on the other hand. So they did use. Anyways, as I was saying, there are pros and cons to ring terminals. Ring terminals, if you don't secure them properly, they will hang on to the screw, even if they're not completely fixed anymore, which, another ring terminal, cool, can lead to like a higher resistance connection and your appliance failing or not behaving as it is supposed to, which is a problem, not gonna lie. If you had a fork there or a spade connector, then that obviously, as I said, could be just blown off by like little force, and then you just have a non-connect there. The problem I have with that is that those spade connectors or fork connectors are connected to something else. And if that something else is a live wire, you still have a spade connector with a live connection somewhere in your build, which is the one thing you should definitely avoid, especially for mains power, is have the potential of a live wire somewhere in your build at any point, including if you need to connect them to the power supply and may not connect them well. If there is a chance that that connection could be severed. The best practice is, especially for ring connectors or ring terminals, to also use serrated washers. And if you use serrated washers with between your ring terminal and your screw, you have a very low likelihood of that screw loosening. Well, actually, you need to use serrated washers on both sides, but then you have a very low likelihood of that screw ever coming loose, and that means that your serrated washer will secure your connection. While you could do the same thing with the spade connector, I guess, or most power supplies actually have some serration on the bottom side, but they tend to not always have it on the screws. So at least one serrated washer on the top. Definitely good practice, I think. But if you can, recrimp those mains connections to, or I would recrimp those mains connections to ring terminals, definitely. And I'm definitely going to do that here, because all my connections are always ring terminals and should use serrated washers. Although on the past builds I haven't done that as religiously as I should have. The only thing that actually got a serrated washer, if I remember the V0 build correctly, was the earth terminal, which should be handled properly always and ever. All the freaking time. Anyways, cables look good. They look really good quality. Somebody put a bit of attention to detail in here, so good job picking those, Fabreeko. Good job getting on people's case about them. Definitely appreciate it. And we are moving on. Still, I like my ring terminals. And what do we have here? The expected remaining extrusions. 280, I'm guessing more 280. $285. Well, not quite. 280, yeah. And then some more packaging to make sure that our screws don't get scratched. Or screw packaging. Just gonna put those there for now, and let's look at it. Ooh, that is hefty. That is hefty. I can definitely tell you that there are things in here that are more heavy than even the Trident. Even the Trident screw box, I think. Those are beefy. Actually, are these M5 or M6? So these are probably, I already picked the ones that we will use for the frame, I'm guessing. Some M3s. Let's find some special. Ooh. So there are some really beefy screws in here. That's to be expected. I mean, this printer is supposed to be able to run insane speeds. Okay. Magnets. Good. Screws. So one thing I think is worth mentioning here already. These boxes are cool, but doubling up on them, on the individual compartments, probably not the thing to do, because like, if you do, then like, if you have two kinds of screws or washers or whatever per compartment, then where are you supposed to put those, right? It's like you have compartments. You can see it here. Whoa. Okay, that was not the plan. There you go. You can see it here, right? All of these compartments have two different kinds of screws in them. Like, why? I mean, this is a kit that's more than $1,000. I think, well, there's probably a space component to this, where you don't want to have a second one of these in here, just to make sure every screw has a place. And 5 threaded inserts, but seriously, I mean, come on. This thing was freaking expensive. M3 and M4 and M5 heat sets. Heat set inserts, a lot of screws. And you can see that these screws are definitely prepared with oil, so to protect them from rusting, which means that they are probably also, or definitely also, not stainless if I get this right. Oh, stainless would have been cool. And of course a shit ton of T-nuts. These are these look pretty good. Yeah, so in general, cool. We'll need to see about the quality when we actually build the kit. Especially quality of the hardware might be a thing here. Might be especially good, especially bad, but it doesn't look like this is actual stainless hardware. So that might need to be set here already. I'm guessing. We can look it up later. Don't take my word for it just yet, because what the hell do I know? Right? I'm doing this as a hobby, and I don't even know too much about it. Right? I'm a software engineer, so don't expect me to be right. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, two big beefy Honey Badger branded fans. I'm guessing for the housing for the electronics backpack. Oh, let's look at these. We have 1, 2, what is that? 2 4010s. 2 4010 blowers for the parts cooling, I'm guessing. 1 4010 radio. Probably for the hot end. And a tiny 2510 for, I have no idea, but they probably do. So very interesting. Let's look at what they're branded as. And of course they all have Honey Badger branding, as far as I can see. It's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Although, would be interesting to see what's under there. But of course I need glasses for that. So let's see here. I'd show you up closer, but High static pressure, 24 volt, dual BB. Oh right, we're gonna use these anyway, so we don't even need to worry about the whole. Ooh, and this actually has a separate wire to track the rotation speed. Nice. Yeah, all high pressure Honey Badger branded. It'll be interesting to see how long these hold up, how well they fare. Cool. What else do we have here? The angles. I am guessing these are for stabilizing the frame inside, so that's cool. Then we have a shit ton of bearings, and very interesting here, very interesting to see. I think this is anti-static packaging, which I haven't. Wait, no. Let me not tell you anything that's wrong. No, actually, it's just transparent. Yeah, all right. I was kind of thinking that they may have packed this in some way to prevent magnetization of these, because obviously you do not want to magnetize your bearings. So even if you have a magnetic screwdriver, don't take those to your bearings. That can impede the way the balls move and roll, and don't do that with your linear rails either. That's a nice, interesting cable. This is probably the Toolhead cable for a 16 pin. Yeah, tracks. Because we do have a Toolhead board in here, I think. I need to see where that's at. And I think we picked it. There's some pin connectors on the bottom here. And this is actually the anti-static packaging. Let's open that up. And yeah, there you go. Ooh. And this does not look right. So here's the first problem. Here is the first real problem, because it looks like we have a bent connector. That's definitely something we need to have a closer look at. I may have already bent it a bit more straight, but if you look at the connector in the middle there, that is definitely bent. So something to look out for. The danger here being that if you bend that back, it might actually break off at one of the pins. I don't think we will have that problem, but yeah, that or the like what could also have been the case is that the housing actually slid upwards on one neck. That was kind of hard to see here. So yeah, not sure. Board in general have a closer look here. The board in general looks fine, solder joints look good. But yeah, that one connector here was a bit weird. Not sure if that's going to be a problem. There's also an unpopulated connector there. Let's maybe get some light on that. Okay, nice. Yeah, and the connection descriptions on the bottom, that is quite good as well. Cool. Definitely nice to see. Let's go back here. Yeah, and while I am unpacking this, maybe go to the description and subscribe, so you don't miss the second and further installments of this. Let's look at this. I wish the and I think I broke the camera, so let's see if we can get this restarted. There's the Galaxy. Yeah, so this is the second board. Obviously, this one here, very much Toolhead, I would say. Connections, like 4-pin connections, 2-pin connections. The thing I'm kind of missing here is, well, one of these larger black Molex connectors will be the hot end, and the other one, well, then we have the 3 2-pin for the fans, 1 2-pin in the middle of the 2 black ones for the thermistor, and I'm guessing the 2 black ones probably going to be 2 separate hot end connectors. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, definitely nice design. So this Toolhead, and this then the counterpart, I'm guessing. We'll need to see. We'll need to see. I am definitely curious to see how that shakes out, what that's going to be. All right. I'm not going to unpack the crimp connectors here. I don't think that's actually necessary, and I will try to at least somewhat secure these boards. Although, to be honest, there is no electronics on these, as far as I can see. These are purely connections. So I'm not sure why you would still put them in anti-static packaging. Although I'm pretty sure they had their reasons. And let me put that connector there as well. Cool. Definitely interesting. Ooh, this is heavy. This is heavy. Fixed screws kit. And they're all held together by magnets. So this is the art piece of the day. There you go. This is your art piece of the day. Black magnets, springs, 5mm magnets, 7 or 8mm, I'm guessing. 6. Shitload of screws. Ooh, and yeah. More screws, bed springs. Self-tappers. So I guess this is the stuff you have extra. I'm also guessing that some of this is for the housing. It says K3 fixed screws kit, so who knows what fixed means. Who knows? We're going to find out together. Again, for that to happen, subscribe please. Find the button below this video. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. And then we can just sit down together and build this thing. It'll definitely be amazing. I'd like to see you there. So if you're curious about the time slot, if you haven't heard before, Saturdays, 7 p.m. Central Europe, or 6 p.m. UK, or if you're so inclined, this is heavy, 1 p.m. East Coast, I think. Don't quote me on that. Or 9 a.m. Sorry, you West Coast people, but you will have to get up somewhat early. So, motors. These are finally some LDO motors, and with the Honey Badger or Annex branding on the bottom here. It's probably Annex. Yeah. So yeah, with the branding on the bottom as well, so attention to detail. We have 3 motors with long axes, I'm guessing. No, we don't. 1, 2, yeah. Because it probably needs to be 3 for the Z axis. So these are our 3 Z motors. These weigh a ton, so a lot of weight going to be down low. That's pretty cool. Although not sure which design that wouldn't be the case for. And then we need to have 4. We're going to keep one of these out here. 4 of these to drive our XY. All LDOs. Let me maybe show you the branding on these. Maybe not leave my glasses on the door, on the floor. Damn, language is gonna be interesting today. Don't actually need. Sorry, chaos, trying to fix it. OCD setting in. There we go. That is better. Show me the stream, please, so I can actually follow along, but not that way. Let's close that. And let's look at the stream again. And now let's take the mobile cam here. So, there you go. Ooh. And that is mirrored. I'm sorry. Need to, yeah, that's not gonna work for you. So let's put that aside and let's use this instead. Let's see if that works. There you go. That's the branding on the motors. Maybe a bit sharper would be nice. That works. Let's keep that going. Let's keep that going. So yeah, those motors are pretty cool. I am definitely stoked. Good bunch of 7. Seven NEMA 14s and no NEMA 17s and 1 14 pancake. So there you go. They all look pretty good. This is really stiff. Don't turn your steppers. Yeah, so cool. Definitely a nice set of motors. Definitely appreciate it. Anything else in here? No, I don't think so. So yeah, just gawking at it, staring at it. And I think I want to put that separate because we're probably going to have to check all the way to at the bottom. Yes, of course, of course. Gonna put that aside as well. I hope it stays where it's supposed to be. And here we are. These are our panels. Pre-drilled. Pretty good. Foil still on there. Doesn't look scratched. Cool. Cool. Full set of them. So let's maybe try to keep them not scratched. A big, amazing door with the graphics on the bottom. There you go. This is likely going to clash just slightly with the remaining color scheme because I'm not sure how well the white will do with the purple and the teal, but oh well. Color of the frame, by the way, is space gray, I think. These are interesting. I wonder what these are for. They definitely look funky. Now we have 2 more. All individually packaged. These I think are plastic, right? No. They're metal. They're probably there to stabilize something. So this thing goes burr even faster. And a bunch of stabilizers. This is hefty. I'm guessing it's steel. Maybe we could bend it to see, but the easier way to do this is to just grab one of the many magnets and find out if it's magnetic. Probably don't want plastic in between there. It's not magnetic. Cool. So, stainless. One option. I'm guessing it's actually stainless. It looks stainless. It looks brushed stainless. So let's assume that is the case for now. We can probably look it up in the description later. But yeah, definitely quite a bit of stuff in here. Quite a bit of stuff I didn't necessarily expect. So that's cool. And not having to drill these, definitely right up my wheelhouse, because when I start drilling stuff, you better get to cover. Let's get these out. These likely will add quite a bit of stiffness to the whole thing, so yeah, cool. A couple more sheets. One on the top, the smaller one on the bottom. They're not separated, so theoretically they could scratch. Rounded corners. They're pretty decent. They're pretty hefty. I'm guessing this larger one should be for the backpack. Gonna be interesting to see if that's correct, but because it has these angles here, I'm guessing that is actually where it goes. Might even go in there in a way where it needs to pass the corner stabilizers, like the corner pieces that stabilize the whole frame. Not sure. We'll have to see. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. And some really freaking huge panels. Must be the size. So at least one of them has quite a few holes pre-drilled in a somewhat weird pattern. This looks like a plate that you would mount things to. Curious to see whether they got the spacing right on these. again, I'm building the I'm building my first ever Annex Engineering 3D printer, much less my first K3. So I'm not even sure what their, let's call it, design language is, and what they will expect from me. What I already know, just checking, see, there's empty, nothing more there. What I already know, I think, is that there is no manual. I heard that there was supposed to be, but I don't think I ever found one, so that is going to be interesting. They do have something else though. They do have these e-drawings we can look at in a bit. The e-drawings are meant to be more or less the replacement for a manual. That those are supposed to give you, well, actually, I'm guessing we go with all the stabilization pieces first. On the side here and on the bottom. And yes, this is going to be somewhat rough and ready. I am not a packaging engineer, and now that we have taken it apart, I'm not going to resell it, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to go back together in some reasonable capacity. There we go. Those were the panels, and that's the kit. Quite excited to build this. Definitely excited to take you with me if you're interested. If you're so inclined, again, subscribe. Share this with other people who might be interested in that. Most importantly, join me on Saturday. First stream is us figuring out how to build this thing. Take one. And I can definitely guarantee you that it is going to be chaos. Why? Because I'm a programmer. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I am definitely way out of my comfort zone with this one. Way out. And that's what makes it interesting for me, and hopefully for you as well. Because I think with just a bit of common sense and some balls to actually get it started, just about anyone can figure out how to build these. It's just a matter of how frustrating it gets, I guess, and that is something you need to figure out with your, you need to figure out with yourself. Anyways, let's jump in here. So, just to recap, this is actually the kit. You can see it there. It was quite expensive. It was actually because of the VAT and the shipping, it was even more expensive than this. The good thing is that I am building this from parts from an earlier printer. So I was actually able to declare these as these parts as replacement parts, and didn't have to declare this as a new machine. So that at least somewhat eased my pain, and I can probably also like declare UST not UST, the VAT, and get that back, because I do want to run this for my freelance side business. But if you were to buy this in Europe, this would easily run you like $1,250. 1,000 to ship, like 1,000 to get it shipped, and then expect another 200, like 1,000 and a bit, and expect another $232, I think I paid for import tax, the VAT, and handling by FedEx. And again, it arrived, so money well spent. But you will have to decide for yourself whether that's worth it, because for me, this is the first, let's call it a premium kit. The first kit I have paid serious money for. The previous kits I built were FISEC, and to be honest, those work and they work well, but that's not down to them being FISEC or them being Fabreeko or them being LDO kits. That's down to you actually taking the time to build them well, paying attention to detail. And I'm kind of curious to see what the difference in build experience is going to be with this kit, because that is the major difference I see with this kit over others. But yeah, let's look at the ingredients here. Obviously, you have a choice of black, gray, red, and blue. I actually like the gray best. The black also pretty neutral, so you can pair it with just about anything. The red and the blue, not my cup of tea, but I think some people may actually enjoy it. And then it's your typical kit with LEO motors, rails, whatever you saw, right? Check this out. This is a non-exclusive list, so there's additional stuff in there that you just saw. What we will still need is a MCU board. We already have those. I think. Wait, we need 7 motors and we need to run a Toolhead, so 8. So that means that we are going to run the Octopus Pro in this. Probably with some TMC 2240s, and then set it up as combined 24-48 volt. Because we can. We're also going to use a Mosquito Magnum Plus in here, although we still don't have that. Well, actually, I think I want to go with the Manta M8P instead. We do have an Octopus here and a Raspberry Pi, but I think in this case I would actually try to go with a Manta M8P. I do enjoy those more. We could look at the LEO Leviathan as well. We'll need to see. We'll have to see what we come up with, but definitely open for consideration here. Yeah, so this is where you get the kit. You can find a link in the description. That's not an affiliate link, so not earning anything on that. The more important part here, I think, is where we get the information about the build. And for that, we are going to use, obviously, the official repository to get the build files. Here we have the release 1.2. I can show this later in the file explorer as well, but we have these. The one thing that's a bit weird here is we have the STLs. We have some STLs that are supposed to still be merged, but in the files we also have e-drawings for the toolhead. Well, we actually can't preview that here. And a bunch of other files here, other support files that we may still need. We'll need to figure that out. And we have the STLs here, but we don't have e-drawings here yet. So this is going to be somewhat experimental if nobody points me to the manual. That's the other option. We don't know. We do have e-drawings for the version 1.1 though, and we can have a bit of a look at those in a moment. You'll also see here that there's no folder called CAD, which is going to be very interesting to see as well where that leads us. So this build, I expect, is a lot of just figuring things out on our own. I may find some resources as well or not. But what we're definitely going to use is the Annex K3 build log. This is, I think, version 1 or version 1.1. But this is a description of how Johnny built his Annex K3, and it will hopefully at least guide us somewhere. I'm not sure though, because kind of funky. Like it's going to be very interesting to see how much this matches with the kit we have, and yeah, definitely interesting to see. Here you can already see one of the problems with the tools I showed you, like the FISEC frame squaring tools, with the bottom blind joints, because those do not end at the end of the extrusion, which means that this tool, at least there, is somewhat useless. But we'll see. We have the corner brackets as well to square this, so it's going to be interesting to see how much that will impact us. So that's definitely a resource. I'm probably going to look for other resources as well. The one thing I'm likely not going to do is just build this along a video, because yeah, well, videos are way too impractical. Like scrubbing around to find the information, then hearing it, then having to reiterate it to you. Nah, we're not going to do that. I will scour the web again and the Discord for information on this. But before we even can go there, let's have a look here at the 3D files. This is one of the two e-drawing files we already saw for version 1.1. So we can definitely see one of the plates here that we saw earlier. Another one there. I'm kind of curious whether these were two or whether we just saw one. We also can see already the plate in the back there with the holes matches the plate we had in hand. Here's the beveled corner plate, so that means that the smaller one goes on the bottom. Okay, so that works out already. And then of course we have a piece of acrylic on the top and on the front. Now, one thing I find somewhat curious here is the use of metal versus the use of plexiglass. I'm not sure why that was used and why that was done this way, but I would think that it would be better to use acrylic here because it conducts heat less. And that's something you can actually put in the comments, because there's another factor to this. With while acrylic conducts heat less, it also dissipates less heat and stores less heat. So there might be an advantage to both metal and acrylic. And if you want, put it in the comments. Tell me why this may have been done with so much metal and not acrylic, as in case of the Warren builds, for example. I'm very interested in hearing your opinion there, because I'm not sure. Yeah, otherwise a lot of printed parts here that we still need to do. The bed, and by the way, I think we can actually deconstruct this as well to see some more details. I'll need to figure that out. I actually only grabbed the e-assembly files, the e-display files, just a few minutes ago, so I'm still figuring that out. Figuring out how to do this. But this is our toolhead, and I think this is the one that was in the to be merged directory. So yeah, this looks cool. You can see the inner cross there with the two fans, the Sherpa Mini on top, and the Mosquito hot end. So that's going to be fun to build. I might be blind, but I'm not seeing the toolhead board yet. But yeah, it's definitely a very interesting construction for a toolhead. Yeah. Let's see what that brings, what that holds. Very curious to see. We'll likely check the CAD file for version 1, but what we can already do is look at the printed parts here. And this is version 1.1. We definitely want to look at version 1.2. These are kind of empty. Oh, and this is probably, let's open them up. This is probably going to be the manual here. No, they're just construction files. Okay. Oh yeah. They actually need a couple of construction files here to produce the individual parts to mill those or to cut those. All right. This, by the way, can be downloaded from the Annex K3 repository here. You just go to Annex Engineering K3. Whoa, shouldn't have done that. K3, and with the code button here, you can just download this. You can also check it out via the GitHub desktop client or any Git client, but it's not really necessary in this case. Just grab yourself a copy, and if they update it, grab a new one. Like, you're not going to make any changes to this, at least not for now. And once you do, you can figure out the whole Git thing then. Not that I don't know, but I just didn't bother to. Yeah, so they have slicer configs, the dreaded STL to be merged and STL thing. These, I'm curious to see what these are. But they're X_T, so yeah. There are definitely some STLs here still to be merged, and a lot of general STLs. What I do like about this stuff is that they are generally following the naming conventions of the Voron parts. So you have either a square bracketed A for alternate color, or nothing at all, like for example with this corner piece for the regular color. Then you have the description of what it's supposed to be, and you have the X2 for twice, nothing for if you only, or like X1 for only once. You have a revision here, so that's kind of interesting to see. Yeah, and then the important thing to note here is there's a README file that then describes what you find inside the... Oh, look at that. So we do actually get some measurements here. Nice. Then you have some folders in here, and those folders are for variants. So I'm guessing if you print something from those folders here, you may not have to print a part that is either outside the folder or in another one. So that's kind of how you need to approach designing your plates here, making sure you find all the parts. And that's what we're going to do still before we put a pin in this. This is not going to take too long. I will go over it afterwards to see that we actually have everything. But just going through here, adding all these parts to build plates, and making sure we have everything. Yeah, that's gonna still be something we will attempt. You can see here, for example, it says for long hot ends, and you see there's a rear idler here. If you, for example, print that, you don't need to print the other one here. And to be honest, I think in this case, I would always print this one, because you don't know if you actually need it until you need it, and then you don't want to take apart half your printer. Although this is going to go on the well, actually it's going to go to the idler, which you might not want to touch again. And it's quite apparent that there's some material missing from this compared to this. Wait, is that actually the idler rear 4 and idler rear lowered? Yeah, so this is the one. I think I would always print this one, just so I have more flexibility and deciding what kind of a hot end I would want to use. It might have some stability implications, but looking at all the parts of this printer and how it goes together in general with all the additional support and the support plates and everything else, I'm not so much concerned about this part being the weak link, to be honest. And it might be, but we'll figure that out together. So yeah, that's kind of the repository. That's the information I have for now. If you know of any other good resources on how to build this apart from videos, then please let me know. Put it in the comments. While they're there, subscribe. Maybe check out the other stuff that's in the description, like for example the Discord link, whatever you find there, right? And yeah, just let me know what you think. In the meantime, we're going to prepare this. We're going to print this on 4. 4 is a 300 by 300 by 250 Warren Trident. Built last year. Absolute champion. I can crack, like I can put anything I want on a build plate. It's going to take a long time to heat up, which is why I usually prefer the V0 that is currently still receiving its canvas update. But it takes a long time. But if you really want to print parts for other printers or print parts for assemblies, for large assemblies, that Trident is the way to go. That Trident just does it all, and you can fill up those plates to do 24-hour runs, no problem whatsoever. We are going to print with the PIF profile, I think. So let's check that. 4 walls, 5 top, 5 bottom. That's quite good. And by the way, if you have questions about how you're supposed to print that, there is a print settings file here that will also explain the whole concept of naming. Interestingly enough, they specify a 0.5 nozzle here. In the first place, but you want to look further down for the 0.4.